business studies on 2. We are still on the topic demand and supply. So in our today's lesson, we are going to derive the demand curve from a demand schedule. So we are first going to look at the demand schedule. Then from the demand schedule, we are going to derive the demand curve. Now, when we talk of a demand schedule is just a table showing the quantity of commodities that the consumers are willing and able to buy at a given price at a particular time. So we are going to start by looking at the demand schedule, and I will give an example of the demand for rents, lots of rents in Kiamutugu Boys High School at different places. Now we are going to look at a demand for lots of rent. So we are going to have our schedule where we have the price. We start with the price. Then we have the number of loads demanded. Number of loads demanded. We have the price and the number of loads demanded. The price is in Kenyan shillings. Now at 30 shillings, they require 1 loaf of bread. At 20 to 15 shillings, the number of loaves demanded is 4. At 12 shillings, the number demanded is 6. Then we have at 10 shillings, the number demanded is 8. Then at 5 shillings, the number demanded is 12. And then at 1 shillings, the number of loaves demanded is 20. So from that demand schedule, it clearly shows us that the demand of a commodity increases with the decrease in price, because at price 1 Kenyan shillings, they demand 20, or rather the seller is going to sell 20 loaves of bread, and at 30 shillings, the seller is only to sell 1 single loaf. This is because we said when the prices increases, the demand goes high, simply because these affect the purchasing power of the consumers. So consumers will consume more when the price of that particular commodity is low. Now, from the demand schedule that we have, you are required to derive a demand curve, and that is what we are going to do. So we are going to draw a curve. We have our y and x axis, and we have our y axis. On the y axis, we have the price. On the y axis, we have the price, and on the x-axis, we have the quantity demanded. Demand we denote with DD. Now, on the x-axis, we have the quantity demanded. On the y-axis, we have the price. So we are supposed to plot using the information on the demand schedule that is on the table. So we start with the first one. We assume that we are going to use a scale of 1 centimeter to represent 5. So we have 1. We have so we are going to use the information on the demand schedule to draw a demand curve. So we have at shillings 5, at shillings 1, the number of learners. We are going to use the information on the demand schedule to draw a demand curve. Looking at the schedule at price 30, and remember we have the price on the y-axis. At price 30, the quantity demanded is 1, so we take 1 is around here. So the quantity demanded at price 30, the quantity demanded is 1. At price 20, the quantity demanded is 2. So this is where we have our. So at 20, the quantity demanded is 2. Then we have at price 15, the quantity demanded is 4. So this is where we have our 4. Then at the price of at 12, so 12 is around here. The quantity demanded is 8. So we have our 8 around here. Okay, now we are continuing to draw the demand curve. So at the price 15, the quantity demanded is 4. Then at price 12, the quantity demanded is 6. So we have a quantity, you can have it, but you don't make mistake. At 12, the quantity demanded is 6. Then at price of 10, the quantity demanded is 8. So we can have that. Then at 5, the quantity demanded is 12. At 5, the quantity demanded is 12. And at price 1, the quantity demanded at 1, the quantity demanded is 20. Now from here, you join the dots or the plots. So you join like that. And that now is our demand. It is our demand curve. Now from the demand curve, it is well unclear. You can see that with increase in price, the quantity demanded goes down. And with decrease in price, the quantity demanded goes up. Simply because we said when the prices are lower, the purchasing power of the consumers increases. So that is the demand curve. And when you are drawing the demand curve, please don't use a graph. Draw it with the free hands. Now from there, we are going to look at the movements along and the shifts in demand curve. Movement along, movement along. Now, we want to explain the movement along the demand curve. And movement along the demand curve, you note that it is only brought about by change in prices, not any other factor. So movement, NB, movement is only caused by change in price. Now, I'll give you an example. This is our demand curve. At price 1, this is the quantity that is demanded. If the price increases from price 1 to price 2, again we see the quantity demanded decreases from, can call this Q1 to Q2. So when price increases from P1 to P2, the quantity demanded decreases from Q1 to Q2. And if the price decreases from P1 to P3, again we see the quantity demanded is going to increase. Yes? So this is what we are calling movements. It is movement along the demand curve. Movement along the demand curve, only caused by changes in prices, not any other factor affecting demand. Now, the other one is the shifts. Having discussed the movements, we are going to look at the shifts. Demand curve can shift to the right. They can also shift to the left, depending on the factor that is causing the shifts. Now, for example, apart from price, there are other factors we talked about, We gave examples of increase in population. So if the population increases, the population of the consumers increases, then it means the demand of that commodity is going to do what? Is going to increase. Now I'm going to use an example here. So this one is our original demand curve. I'm going to call it D0, D0. Now, and the original price was here. So this was the original price. Now, I'll just take a single factor, and in this case, I'm going to take the population changes, population of the consumers. I'll start with increase in population of the consumers. If a school used, I'll use our school as an example. When we were a population of 300 people, we could consume 300 jubilees at a day. But when the population increases from 300 to 600, then it means the number of gumus we are going to consume in a day are also going to increase from 300 to 600. And that one is going to cause the demand curve to shift to the right side. So, because you can see, even if the price remains constant and the population has increased, the quantity still increases. The price is constant, but due to increase in price, the demand increases. Now, on the other side, if the population of the school decreases from 600 to 300, even if the price is constant, it means we are going to reduce the number of gumus that we consume in a day from 600 to 300. Thus, the demand curve is going to shift to the what? Is going to shift to the left. So that is what we call the shift of demand curve. Causes of a shift in demand curve will be discussed later. But remember, when the demand curve is shifting to the right side, then it means the demand has increased, and it is affected by all other factors that we had discussed earlier, apart from prices. And then, when the demand curve shifts to the left, it means the demand has reduced, and it is caused by the factors that we had discussed in our previous lesson, apart from the price. May it be government policies or a change in consumers' disposable income. So during your own time, it is good to do research to understand that better. So I'm going to end our lesson there today until we meet next time. Thank you.